This program on investing under regulation crowdfunding is not investment advice.
Rising with the crowd, power unbound, change makers lead where hope is found. Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
Have you ever worried perhaps, that some of these delivery apps that bring us food from our favorite local restaurants may be hurting the restaurants we love while exploiting drivers who desperately need work? Well, our guest today has not only worried about that, he's done something about that with a new startup, Chop Chop. Stick around. You don't want to miss this conversation. Now, welcome to the Superpowers for Good show from the Super Crowd. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Troy Smith. Troy is the founder of Chop Chop, this great new startup that is creating an app that facilitates food deliveries from local restaurants without exploiting the drivers at all. This is really a cool thing. Troy, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
I really am thrilled. We saw with, I'm going to avoid the use of some names here for the sake of staying out of Dutch with attorneys, but, we saw in the early days of the driver app that is most common, that it was really exciting for drivers because they got an opportunity to earn money in a way, and over time that company has taken more and more and more of the revenue, leaving drivers with less and less and less. And we're seeing the same trajectory with the food delivery versions of these apps. It's kind of scary, right? Leaving too little for our local restaurants that we love and the drivers. What are you going to do about it?
Well, we developed Chop Chop exactly for that reason. So before we get into when I say we're a restaurant delivery app, people always say, "Oh, you're like," and I'm like, "We're not an ordering app. We believe restaurants should take their own their own orders and take their own payments. We don't take orders and we don't take payment. What we do is we connect drivers with restaurants. So the drivers are independent. They are fully vetted by us with their driver's license and insurance. And what we do is we make sure that the restaurants have a good experience with them. Restaurants take their own orders, their own payments. When they're ready to make a delivery, they go on the app, they request a driver, and they match with the driver. The driver delivers through the app, facilitates it. The customer doesn't download the app. The app's for the restaurant and for the driver. The customer does get 3 SMSs. One, that their food has left the restaurant with a picture of the driver. The second SMS they get is that the driver's arrived at their place of business or their home. And then the third is a photographic evidence that the delivery has been made. And at that point, the driver is paid directly from the restaurant. It goes through Stripe, and we keep the money in escrow until the delivery is made, and then it goes through. So it helps everyone. It helps the restaurants. They're not paying these huge commissions. They're taking their own orders themselves. And the drivers are getting paid a fair deal for what they're doing. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
It really is a game changer, quite literally, right? You have built new rules for the game, and in a way that's much cheaper to a restaurant over the course of a month. You could tell us a little bit about the fee structure, but I think you've got a great deal set up there and so fair to the drivers. This could really explode. Let's shift gears, though. Well, tell us more about the economics. I want to drill down on that just a little bit because I think this is so essential. Um, so,
So we're SaaS based. We don't charge a commission. We charge $199 a month for the restaurant. It's about a cup of coffee a day. So there's no fees, there's no hidden fees, there's no tip baiting for the driver. We don't take a cut from the driver, anything like that. We charge the restaurant $199, and that gets them access to the app. The drivers are on the app for free. There's 6 million gig drivers in the US right now. So it's a huge employer here in the US. So it's amazing.
that's wild to think about the size of this marketplace. It really is just huge. And the potential for you to really reinvent this space with your app. Now, one of the exciting things is that members of our audience can own a little piece of this. They can invest, get something out of this, not just participate as users. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to raise and why you decided to raise on FundingHope.
I came across FundingHope, and I really love that they're out there looking out for the small guy. You know, a lot of our drivers here are first-generation immigrants, and a lot of the restaurants are mom-and-pop store first-generation immigrants as well. And sometimes they get taken advantage of. And it seemed like FundingHope definitely have their heart in the right place, which I really, really appreciate.
Yeah. And why do you want to raise capital from the crowd?
I think this affects customers as well, because customers, I know the Restaurant Association, the National Restaurant Association did a survey, and the majority of customers want to order directly from the restaurants. And those are customers out there who hopefully will be investing with Chop Chop and making this dream a reality.
That's great. It is wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about your plans, and start by telling us a little bit about where you are in this process. You're a little smaller than some of the big companies you're competing with. Give us a sense of where you are and where you plan to go and how you plan to get there.
So currently we have launched the app on the Apple Store and Google Play. And we are currently running ads with Instagram, Meta, to build a list of interest for restaurants. And as we go along as well, we're also talking with drivers. So we've been talking with restaurants since we decided to do this, mainly in San Diego. And also I'm visiting Phoenix right now as well and speaking with restaurant owners here. So getting their input has been very, very important. And it's something that especially the mom and pop independent stores are really, really excited to get on board with. So we have launched the app and we're ready to start rolling it out as soon as we get going.
That really is, it's exciting to see. It looks to me like correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you haven't quite had someone use the app to deliver food yet. Is that fair, that we're not quite to that point? Or have you done a few alpha tests with
so we've definitely tested. We tested with a restaurant in San Diego. He has two locations. And it was myself and Will, my partner, and then my one son, who's 18 as well, were driving around for him. And we even threw a couple of his kitchen staff. The way he used to do his deliveries before was he'd get his kitchen staff to run the food out.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't working for him. He was a man down, and if they were too busy, then he was running around. So we've done a lot of testing with him, and it works like a dream. It's very similar to the third-party apps that for the drivers and the restaurants, that the restaurants get to track the driver, the customer can track the driver, and the one nice function we have as well is that the restaurant can also give the driver at the end of the delivery either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And that'll, in future, the restaurant will work with those drivers who get the thumbs up. So kind of, you start working with the drivers that you really like and you enjoy working with.
It's brilliant. And it also gives the restaurant so much more control than the other apps, and saves them potentially grundles of money. I think the other apps are charging on the order now of 30% of the order.
So that's I think about the standard.
Wow.
But the big thing as well is that the apps are also charging to boost you to the top of the page. So if you're a restaurant and you're not paying the extra fee to get boosted, you're not getting the orders. So it's a lot of customers want to order from the restaurants directly. It's something that they've done before. I've spoken with restaurants, and they see their food going to their old customers through an app, and it's costing them more money than it did before to send that food out. So.
Yeah, you can see how it really can wreck the economics. And so, where a customer might be thinking, "Oh, I'm supporting my local business," in a way, they're just imposing a tax on that business that they love, and that's harsh. That's harsh. And with your pricing, $199 a month and no additional fees, that could save them a fortune over the course of the month and allow them to really prosper and grow a business. So it's really exciting to think about that. I want to make sure that everyone in the audience sees this, but we've got on the screen now, we've got a little bit about how to invest. You can, and go to the URL, and they're not going to take your money on the landing page. You're safe. Visit s4g.biz/chop, s4g.biz/chop, and you can go learn more about the deal terms, how this is structured, so you can see how you're going to get your money back and then some. If all goes well, this is an exciting opportunity to support small businesses across the country, and the drivers who really, so many are, in this day and age when people really struggle for an income. This is an opportunity to create a fairer opportunity for people to make a living. So this is such a great app, helps so many people potentially. Troy, we got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. I'm here today with Troy Smith. He's the founder of Chop Chop, a great business. It's reinventing local restaurant delivery, and really an exciting conversation we've been having so far. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, Troy and I are going to have a conversation about his superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.
Download a free copy of How to Make Money with Impact Crowdfunding, the book Sarah Hanks describes as
a fantastic overview, not just of crowdfunding investing, but of investing in general.
Andrew Savickas raved,
"This book offers unparalleled insights for anyone looking to make a difference."
Scan the QR code to get your copy.
Save the date for Super Green Live, the global event on sustainability and green innovation, January 22nd through 24th, 2026.
Struggling to raise capital for your business? Unlock the power of the crowd with AI. My free guide, Crowdfunding Made Simple, walks you through every step to success. Get funded smarter, faster. Scan the QR code now for your free download. Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited, having such a fun conversation with Troy Smith, the founder of Chop Chop, and he's building an app that is game-changing in the food delivery business, better supporting small businesses, small restaurants especially, and the drivers who drive for them. This is really an exciting thing. We're going to shift gears, though, now, and we're going to talk to Troy about his superpowers. So stick around. Troy, this is really something exciting that you are working to accomplish. And I just couldn't be really more excited about this because I see the potential to help millions upon millions of people, in restaurants, people who work for those small businesses, as well as for the drivers. This could just be huge while allowing you to scale up a very successful business. What is your superpower?
So I grew up in Zimbabwe. It's hard to believe. And they had a saying there. And Afrikaans is one of the languages there is maak 'n plan. And it literally translates to make a plan. And that's one thing that I've always lived my life. When something presents itself, a challenge, something's going wrong, you make a plan. And that's what we've done with Chop Chop. We've seen that the system's broken. That the food delivery system isn't working for anyone. I was a franchisee with McDonald's in South Africa, and it's a penny profit business, restaurants, and the margins are thin. They're razor thin. And unless you're going out there and making a plan, you're going to fail. It's a sad reality that the majority of restaurants will fail in the first couple of years. And it's not because the people aren't putting their hearts into it. People put their lives into it. People invest everything into it. And for them to fail, it's a tragedy. And I know that Chop Chop will give restaurants a leg up in making sure that they make more money from deliveries. Deliveries have become a huge stream of revenue for restaurants, especially since COVID. And I think that's something that we need to be aware of and also make a plan to help these guys. And that's I guess that's my superpower, is making a plan for these guys.
I really recognize that is powerful, right? That mindset in a way of just saying, let me figure out what I can do, instead of just saying, oh, wow, that's a real problem. We all have that tendency, many of us, right? We love to spot the problems, and there's nothing more that social media that loves than to get us all fired up about a problem. But without a plan to solve that problem, we're just spinning our wheels. We're just worrying without doing anything. So this is really an exciting skill. Can you think of a very specific instance where you identified a problem, made a plan, and executed on that plan successfully?
So
be a tiny example, even personal, doesn't need to be professional. But
it's the way Chop Chop came around, actually, is I was just as COVID hit, and I went into a Japanese restaurant to get some food to take home to my family. And the little old Japanese lady behind the counter, I became friendly with her, and we were chatting the one day, and she got a phone call from one of her regular customers, and she didn't have her driver there that day. And she turned to me and she said, if I give you $10, will you go deliver this food for me? And she wrote the address on a Post-it note, gave me $10. And I was like, well, she made the plan for me. She was the idea behind it. And I was like, wow, if I could turn this into an app and have the driver on demand, and the driver gets paid directly by the restaurant, there we have Chop Chop. So that's what we did.
Wow. That is a powerful example, very powerful example. And you're executing on that plan today. Now, I want to ask you kind of a follow-up here. As you begin thinking about building out an organization, you're going to have to hire people. You have to grow the organization. So you're going to be coaching people on executing on plans, building plans, creating plans, solving problems by seeing a problem and making a plan. How would you coach someone today to be more like you in their ability to make a plan as a way to solve a problem?
So I'll go back to an experience I had with McDonald's in South Africa, and we had a business consultant called Ben Fitzpatrick, sweetest guy in the world. and he taught me how to run my restaurants through systems. And he would come to the restaurants and he would always observe to see what was going wrong. And then he would pull you aside and to see if you could see what's going wrong. And then he would ask you, how would you fix that? And then we would go out and implement the changes. And I think observing to make sure that we know what needs to be fixed, instead of just jumping right in and trying to fix it without realizing why it's not working. I think that was the greatest gift that he gave me, was just sit, observe, work out where it's going wrong, and then fix it from there. And that's how I would teach someone.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Brilliant example of how to learn this skill. Now, as you think about this superpower you've developed, of being able to make a plan, a little jealous, because I see not only your ability to make a plan, but to execute on it. And that can be challenging. What do you see as though the impact that this can have on the world if more people develop this skill set, right? They begin to think about how to solve problems. Can it make a difference in the world, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's once you have your first success, after observing, it might have been something as simple as being in the restaurant at lunchtime and the whole place was falling apart. And you're like, where is it going wrong? Instead of running behind the counter and trying to fix it, take a moment and look to see what's going on. Maybe it's product, maybe it's people, maybe it's the equipment. Something is going wrong and you've got to try and zone in and see what the problem is and take action on that. And I think that's important. It's like to find out what the problem is and fix it. And that's what we're doing. I think on a greater scale with Chop Chop, I think it's something that can help people moving forward.
You're absolutely right. And Troy, I really want to thank you for taking the time to be on the show today. Before we wrap up, I wonder if you'd take just a minute and tell people how they can learn more about Chop Chop, how they can invest. Give us the basics of that step by step. Some people may want to follow you, knowing that there's this great, make a plan guru out there. They may want to follow you on social media, get advice from you, and just get the updates on Chop Chop, because they may be waiting for that to open up in their community. How can people follow, learn more, connect? What's your guide for that?
So you go to chopchop.mobi. We couldn't get chopchop.com. It's going to cost us too much money if we didn't have that right now. So it's chopchop.mobi is our website. We're on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. Instagram, chopchopmobi. TikTok, chopchop.mobi. And you can reach out to me directly at troy@chopchop.mobi. I'd love to hear from you guys. I respond to everyone. I think whether you have an idea, whether you have a problem you feel like solving, if it's personal, it comes from you directly, I will always respond. So that's the way you get hold of me.
How fantastic. And to invest, folks, you can just visit s4g.biz/chop, and that'll take you directly to the FundingHope page, where no funny business. You can visit the page and learn more about investing, learn more about the business, see how it works, get a better understanding. I think you'll be as excited about this as I am once you take a look. So I invite you to do that. With regulated investment crowdfunding, everyone can do this. There are no barriers. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be rich. You can just go check it out. So, especially those folks in those early markets, Phoenix and San Diego, go check it out, because you may be someone who's interested in driving. You may have a restaurant. You can go check this out and be an owner, or at least an investor in a business that is going to really help you. So anyway, Troy, thank you for being on the show. We want to see you succeed.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time.
All righty. Now let's do some good.